You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dini Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
All right, guys. So we have one more interview until this evening. We have another show at 8 with Jamesia. And then we have another show at 10 with the Band of Six. It's a family. From Chicago, Illinois. They go by the name of SM6. So yeah, today has been filled with a lot of interviews, and it's cool because it's the new year. We have a lot of things to talk about. So there's almost no visible difference between the winning athlete and the one who finishes last. They both have the same number of muscles to work with. They both play the game by the same rules, use the same kind of equipment, yet the winner is the one who makes the commitment to win. The winner is the athlete who does what it takes, who trains day after day, who adds a little extra, to each workout, who can visualize crossing the finish line ahead of the rest. The highest paid salesperson and the only one who rarely makes a sale, but have the same basic skills and resources. The difference is in what they do with what they have. The best-selling novelist, the unpublished writer, both have the same dictionary full of words to work with. The difference is in what they do with what they have. You already have the raw material for success and achievement. You have what it takes to achieve greatness in anything you desire. Within you is the potential for extraordinary accomplishment. No one is better suited for success than you, yet you are the one who must make it happen. You are the one who must make the commitment and do whatever it takes to achieve the greatness of what you're capable of. You have what it takes, so make it happen.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello, and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music, or the book, or film, or even the business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create these marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. Big ups to my folks who are Indigos, Crystalline, or the Starseeds, for my Vigilantes audience family, for my hooligans, and shout out to my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're in a struggle like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 5 solid years. I appreciate to all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, films, and research in every aspect. And we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists, nominees, to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology revolutionaries, visual artists, from authors to professors, and vampires. Or people who think they're vampires. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out to book your interview or to appear on my other show called Skeptics email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com, and that's V as in Victor. We hope to get the stories behind these unique people and give them a chance to tell their truth to us and the universe. That is Vigilantes Radio sole purpose. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. Share that number with your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. So feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab them from either Spreaker.com/only one media group, iTunes, Player.fm, YouTube, any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
All right. Guys, yeah, so like I said, we have one more interview, and we'll be good for a while. So our interviews go beyond the music, the blog, the books, the movies, the movements, and into the minds of the people who create it. From researching our guests, mining for details, and listening, reading, and watching everything we can, our interviews are designed to bring out the best answers possible through provoking questions that have real substance. So as I mentioned, our guest a little bit in the beginning of the show when we first started, is that we have a guest. Her name is Naomi. She's from New Jersey, and she'll be on here sharing her story and her movement. So with that, let's go ahead and welcome Naomi on. Hey Naomi, how's it going?
Hello, I'm managing. That's all I can say.
Definitely. So for those out there who are not familiar with you or your story, can we start right there?
Yeah, sorry for my pause here, because, I just, so painful. Yeah, my story is about my son. I heard your introduction earlier. It was saying the same thing. He wasn't a teenager. He was a young adult. He was 22 years old. And it was my only child. He was a hip-hop artist. He went by the name of Sean-cos-Mason. You can Google his name. That's his stage name, Sean-cos-Mason. He has really, really pushed his music out there before what tragically happened to him. I recall when I had got the phone call, and I was at the hospital with my mom getting eye surgery, and the call came in, and it was like, "Oh, Miss Johnson, could you hurry up and we need you to come to the police station. We have a package for you." And I'm like, a package? So I'm sitting here like, okay, what do I didn't lose anything, So they're like, well, where are you at? They'll come and get you. So I'm like, well, who is this? I know first they didn't say the police station. They just would stop talking like, we need to see you. I'm like, well, who is this? And then they're like, oh, this is the police station. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, oh, well, you have my sister, I'm not dreaming with my son. Because my son was not a troubled child. So I said, okay, did they racially profile him? What? So all this coming into my mind. So I said, well, okay. They're like, well, we'll come get you. I said, no, I come there. So I come to the police station. First of all, I was thrown like a package. What is it? A package. So when I got there, they were saying, oh, I'm from New Jersey. The police officer was like, oh, well, your son was in an accident and he didn't make it. So now I'm thinking, oh, was he on the public transportation and it collided into an object or another car or whatever, or was he in a car with somebody and the car collided with the public transportation? So all this sort of thing, because they said an accident, because that's what I think when it's an accident. You know, so later on, of course, I was like, that's like a call that no mother in the world wants to get. You know, I mean, I understand we all have to go, you know, and that's a given. We're not here to stay. We all have to transition to whatever we have to go to, you know, whatever your faith or your belief may be. So I got there and they showed me a picture. I'm like, of course, devastated, you know. And once I got home, my mom and sister, they came and drove me home because I was not in a mental or physical capacity to drive. So when I got there, my sister started getting online. You know, it was on the news. It was all over the place. And so when my sister read it said, my son was ran over. I'm like, what? The bus driver ran my son over. Not once, but twice. In Bloomfield on Barton Bay. Then he dragged my son's lifeless body. Based on an article, like 50 to 100 feet, based on an article that I have read. So I'm like, okay, you're saying the accident, my son was ran over. That's not an accident. We as motorists have control of our driving. You know, we have control. So this driver, he didn't have a heart attack, nothing. I mean, again, I'm going to grieve for my son if he had a heart attack because that's out of his control. But knowing this man had full control and he jumped the curb when my son stood and killed my son. Driver never, when I say never was charged, never was charged. So what I did, the prosecutor never called me. The Bloomfield Police Station did, but the prosecutor, because when it turns over to the prosecutor, they're supposed to reach out. Never did. I know an associate of mine, you know, he's a judge, and he was saying to me, Naomi, whatever you do, what I need you to do, I need you to go and talk to the people in the surrounding areas. I've been on the bench for a long time. I'm going to tell you, they're not going, you know, prosecutor, they're not going to tell you the whole truth, and the people is not going to tell the prosecutor everything. So, of course, it's like painful for me to go into the area where my son was brutally killed. So it started getting more deep and interesting, you know, to say the least. So my son's best friend, Mama, and I, you know, they took me around the area, and we start interviewing the people in the area, and one of the owner across the street from Exxon gas station in Bloomfield, New Jersey, was saying, no, your son was, because according to the article and the prosecutor, you know, what they made a statement in the article that my son was chasing the public transportation down. So, of course, I'm going to like, okay, that's what it is. So his friends, my son's friend, like, that's a fabrication. You know, Deshaun will never chase the public transportation down because he saved us, because one was going to hit us, and he pulled us back. So, you know, that was out of my son's character, what they had wrote. And so we start scouting around, talking to everybody, and the guy from the Exxon gas station, like, that's fabrication. Your son did not chase it. Your son walked past. And so he allowed us to see the video. As my son's walking past the gas station, not in a rush. And in the video, it was like another truck, but you couldn't see the whole thing, but you see the driver never stopped. He kept going. You see he made a close turn by the curb, and then you see the front and back wheel went up, which was my son. He never stopped. Never. We saw it on the camera. So the guy, gas station attendant, said, go to 7-Eleven and talk to the people in 7-Eleven, because your son went there. He said, because I was out and I saw your son walk past. He waved to me, and he went next door. He said, because I see your son all the time. He's a very nice gentleman, polite. I said, oh, yes, he is, because that's the way I raised him, mannerism.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to 7-Eleven, and we asked questions, and the 7-Eleven manager didn't want to give me any the footage, the video, you know. But we remember him in the paper. He was just smiling, you know, in the paper. You know, here my son's life was taken. So we had finally went to another gas station, which was within the surrounding area, and the guy was telling me, I'm a former police officer. You know, the prosecutor was supposed to call you. He said, report them. You know, reporting the prosecutor to the attorney general, that's not help because they all in cahoots with each other. So that's that's not a good ending. That's nothing going to happen there. However, we went to the prosecutor, and of course, the female, Miss Lou, she didn't know anything. Because the same day when my son was killed, a block before that, another man was killed by New Jersey Transit bus driver. So it was like 3 in the same day.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
3 in the same day.
3 in the same day. My son was on Broad and Bay, and the other one was in Franklin, you know, on the borderline of Newark and Bloomfield. And the other one was like somewhere in Passaic. 3 in the same day. And I do extensive research, you know. So we went to the prosecutor. They started fabricating to me. And the chief of prosecutor, you know, they kept making appointments, trying, you know, and not meeting with us. We kept rearranging appointments, so we finally met with the appointment. And then after that, they started fabricating. And I knew the guy was fabricating because I had read the article. Mm-hmm. Well, my sister really read the article, not me. So the prosecutor, he started lying. He like, well, your son was using both the palm of the hand, hitting the public transportation. I said public transportation because it's hard for me to say the U.S. because I have the image of everything, you know. And so he was like, my son used both open palms of his hand, begging on the public transportation. I said, that's fabrication because the article, you know, my sister read the article. And the mayor of Bloomfield also gave his statement. He like, oh, it happened on Bay. I said, no, it was on Broad because that's the county road. So everybody pushing the blame, you know. And so the prosecutor just stopped when I caught him in all these fabrications. Okay. And I said, not only that, I did my own interview. I spoke to everybody around there, so he really got like numbed. So he told the investigator, oh, well, explain to us. I said the driver jumped the car. Oh, no, he didn't do it. We saw the invest. I said, yes, he did. Mind you, one of the ladies who took the picture, she told me, one of the journalists, she took the picture of the area. And she called me and met with me. You know, so the justice system is not really for the criminal, for the victims, I mean. It's really for the criminals, you ask me. You know, especially when the state entity is involved, they're always trying to cover things up with corruption, you know. And I started doing so much extensive research. And, you know, the prosecutor, Thomas Finley, was telling the investigator, like, oh, can you tell her he didn't jump the curb? So the guy, like, no, he didn't. I said, you're fabricating. I said, you know what? My sister saw the pictures, for one. And two, of course, it was not going to be skip marks on the curb if my son's blood is in it. You know, so I've been going through this whole turmoil of the fabrication. I've been fighting. It's going on actually like 6 years. I've been fighting for justice for my son because of the corruption. And every attorney that I have hired, they like all the way into it, and after that they start lying to me. So I knew I couldn't trust I knew I couldn't trust the attorney because they're getting paid off by the bus company, the public transportation, you know. So as I'm reading, let me back up. When one of the lawyers that I hired, he gave me the video, which I put it online, which is one of the evidence with the prosecutor, the bus driver, and transit lawyer. I have the video, and I'm hearing this conversation, and I'm in so much disbelief as I'm listening to this looking at this video, which is on YouTube. And so the driver gets up and demonstrates how he saw my son. Mind you, they say he didn't see him. But I'm listening, and this coming out the driver's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So the prosecutor intervened like, oh, it's nothing you could have done. It was out of your control. You could have stopped. That was your assigned spot. You know, so the lawyer, he says to the driver, oh, remember, you didn't see anyone. This is all on video. The corruption is best. So my thing is, if they did this to my son, how many other cases have they done that to?
Right.
Because it's too busy trying to push a settlement. People are like, oh, well, you know, lawsuit, that's justice. No, lawsuit is not justice. Lawsuit is it's like a band-aid. It's just like a person had cancer. You keep going in chemo. The problem is still there, but there's no cure. And that's all a lawsuit is. A lawsuit is like really a bribe to keep you, because they have you to sign a lawsuit and a gag order and give you a lawsuit in exchange of money. That's a bribe. Because that's what they tried to do to me. And I declined. I said, because you know what? I have a right to practice the First Amendment. That's my constitutional right. You cannot push that on me. And so they was taken back because I know that. Because a lot of people don't know that. They're like, okay, well, let me take the money. And when you take the money, the case is closed. You're not going to know the truth.
Yeah.
You're not. And what they do, they conceal it. And when it's concealed, and the next person have, and somebody want to investigate, they really can't, because it's a concealed document. But I forbid. I mean, people don't believe in it, but my son came into my dream and was telling me what happened, and I was taken back. I really was taken back. And I'm going to put that online. When I'm saying that online, when I was sharing with the attorney exactly what happened, and he's like, no. So when I was feeding him information, because I was doing the research, and I was giving it to attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't wanting them to do the information because they believe fabricating. And the lawyer like, oh, he has a clean record. I did research. My son comes in my dream, and he said, no, he did not have a clean record. I did research. That driver did not have a clean record. I put that also online. You know, even if you Google Justice for Sean, you would see it. You would see all these factions. He had breaking and forcible entry. He had like, it's online. It's like overtaking civil suits, $10,000 civil suits. It's a lot.
Yeah, I read it. And that guy is still driving with that record?
Oh, you saw? Yes.
Yeah, I seen it. Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the attorney. So that's like if I did not record these people, yes, I recorded, because in the state of New Jersey, you can record a person as long as you're a part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I record this. See, if I never record this information, people would think, oh, she's a grieving mother. She's fabricating. She's just trying to do this. She's trying to do that. And being that they knew I was fighting for myself, when I say they tormented me, meaning the lawyer that I hired, he sat here, got a friend right on the side, then he started lying. I'm like, you already showed me the evidence. What do you mean? Why are you lying? What he did, the information I gave him, he hired a forensic science, and they scanned the area, which I'm going to put that on video. That video is not up yet on YouTube, but I am going to put that on there. And it shows what happened. And it shows the driver did, like I said, jump the curb. And I record the attorney. He said, everything you said that happened, you was right. I said, so there is, people don't believe when your loved one is gone that they don't speak to you. And it was a movie like, I don't know, it was a movie or something, Talking Beyond the Grave. I don't know if I got the title right, Beyond the Grave or something like that on TV. And I'm here to tell you that is the honest truth. Mm-hmm. The attorney was taken back. When he took that and stopped mapping everything together, you're like, wow, everything you said, that's what really happened to your son. I said, so I wasn't there, so you know how I'm going to get this information.
Right, yes.
You know, so then after that, then I had a friend call me. We were supposed to go, they was going to close my son's case. So the prosecutor, my son's best friend, I don't know if you saw that online, the protest that we had.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, my son's best friend, you know, him and his mom, they had, formulated the protest. because we lived it like, okay, this does not add up. And so we did the test. And someone called my son's best friend's mother and said, get the videotape that was on the public transportation. The person like, I'm the one who serviced the bus, after what happened. And there's a videotape. And in the video, I don't know if you saw the prosecutor video online too. They talk about the video. So here I got this attorney. He said, oh, there's no video.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I said, but if you look at the video with the prosecutors I have, they talk about the video. So there's no video? So there's no video. Where's the video? So like I said, I can't be making it up. That's why I put all the evidence online, And so so I showed the attorney the information. He like, oh, that's the only fraction that the driver had. I said, no, it's more. Oh, no, because that's when he ended my son's life. He had, which was July the 18th, Wednesday, July the 18th. Then in September, he had another one. And so the attorney started lying. Oh, he just blew past a stop sign. So I looked at him. I said it had accident. If he blew past the stop sign, didn't hit anyone, that would be a moving violation or traffic violation. So don't play me stupid. So that's how come it's like hiring these attorneys. They're not for you. They're not. They are not for you. They become in cahoots. They want them getting paid off. And New Jersey Transit, I don't know if you did research, it happens all the time. There's a lot of lives have been taken. Even my son's best friend, she was killed first. Actually, her anniversary will be coming up this month, the 23rd, 2012 of January. She was killed first. My son knocked the door and said, Mom, do you know Christine Noble had just got killed? I said, how? He said, a bus driver hit her. And I read her article. They fabricate and cover up hers. So my son, she jumped out, and it was a witness saying, no, the driver was on the phone, and he killed her. He jumped the curb like he did my son. And they cover up her. And she was with her 3-year-old. So this is going on, and there's cover-up. So then after that, with the prosecutor, all of a sudden, like, oh, we're going to take the grand jury. I had a criminal lawyer to advocate with me. He was no good because he was one of cahoots with them. I had to do research on them. And come find out, they threw it out because he didn't give them all the evidence. And I record that conversation, too, with the prosecutor. I have that as well, when she said he didn't give it to her. See, I recorded everything because I know within my spirit, I'm like, okay, I need backup proof because people going to think, okay, she's delusional. So I record that, the conversation between the prosecutor and I, saying that he never gave it to him, but they closed the case. Essex County prosecutor, they are so corrupt. Then I had a friend who was a police officer. He called me and he said, Naomi, look for Vincent Noydor's name. I said, what are you talking about? He said, they was talking about him. I said, what about him? They in a homicide, they was talking about him, saying that the feds got him on an investigation dealing with transit. I'm like, okay. So of course I did more research to come find out that Vincent Noydor used to work for New Jersey Transit, and he was the head detective would write off on these cases.
Mm-hmm.
And Dini-Mussolini's accident without any further investigation. So to this day, my son's case is still under corruption.
Oh, wow.
I've been fighting by myself. I've been trying to get criminal lawyers to help. It's so corrupt, they're like, they don't even want to touch it because they fear that they wind up something going to happen to because the two attorneys who were helping me, they are disbarred. They're no longer practicing law anymore.
What?
I kid you not. So I took my son's case to a friend of mine, and because the lawyer that I had, he said, whatever you do, make sure you don't show anybody what's on this flash drive. Of course I'm not going to look at it because they have all the gooey images and everything of my son, which they already showed me, because the lawyer that I had, he's like, okay, we're going to go to mediation with the judge, and we're going to pull out some images, and I'm going to let you know when to leave the room. He did not do that. So somebody told me he meant to do that to set you up, to break you. Yes. So I'm haunted every day with the image of my son remains spread all over the road. with my son's sneakers right there on the curb, like I said, because they said he was in the street. He was not in the street. He was on the curb. And you know how the handicap curb merged into the street?
Mm-hmm.
So they trying to say he was in the street. And I saw the image. And my son remained on the road. I'm like, how can you do something like that to me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so then after that, it's like I get people giving me platitude, God this, God that. I said, you know what, I don't want to hear about God because I don't want to get into that religious conversation. You know, because when you're not walking my shoe, it's easy for you to spew out those type of things. You're not living what I'm living. You know, and all that, all these cliches, all time heal all wounds, or you'll find, you know, you justice and peace. How can you find peace and justice when your child is murdered?
Mm-hmm.
When a child loses his mother, they become a what? An orphan. When a mother loses a child, what are they? When a wife loses a husband, you know, they become a widow. A widower.
Mm-hmm.
But a mother losing a child in the hand of somebody and under corruption, what do you call her? Grieving parents, grieving mother? There's no title.
Yeah, there isn't.
So I said to myself, how do these people sleep at night and know what they're doing? This is corruption at its best. And also put online because the former governor, he was in cahoots with the corruption. I even wrote to him. He didn't do anything. I wrote to all the politicians. They didn't do anything. This is how corrupt New Jersey is. And in New Jersey, it's like almost like 100-something cases of all these incidents. And like I said, well, I just call my son a case incident, not accident, because I don't know, the family didn't do the extensive research that I have done. I call my son cases incident because it's not an accident. I even went to Washington to try and get help to the Transportation Committee, and she even said that's not an accident what happened to your son, based on their definition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she said they probably would call a crash or something, but it's not an accident. You know, and so then after that, I wound up firing that attorney because the attorney had brought me in, and then the judge was getting upset because he had a retired judge named Judge Lawson, and he said he was very, when I say nasty to me, was trying to play that mind psychology game, trying to say, oh, it was an accident. I said, I saw the evidence. We've been down this road. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he didn't have any other fraction. I said, stop lying. I had the evidence. You know, so the judge get very nasty, and then he like, oh, the guy only struck us on one time. I said, no, he didn't. The autopsy said twice, and I saw the video. And he got really nasty. When I said the retired judge got real nasty, he says to me, oh, well, the front wheel didn't kill your son. It was the back wheel. Like, because all the brain matter was in the wheel. Why would you tell a mother like that? Something like that. So I get up, and he got nasty, like, sit down, where you going? You know, so they would force me not to take it to trial.
Wow.
So this is what I'm going through as today when I'm saying I'm thinking of. I call lawyers, they were like, oh, you can't, it's up to the prosecutor, you know, to take this. You can't override the prosecutor. If they close the case, it's up to the prosecutor. I said, why are you fabricating? You can't take the case back under new discovery. Because I record the prosecutor telling me, because I asked her, how can I take the case back to open the case? She said, under new discovery. But here these lawyers coming away lying to me like, oh, you can't take it once it's a prosecutor. I said, okay, here we go again. Why are you sitting here lying to me?
Yeah.
You know, so it's been like a really, really ongoing battle with me, still trying to fight for justice, not just for my son, also for Christine Noble and all the other lives that was taken in vain, because these lives were taken in vain. And most of all these lives, that's 55 cases out of Essex County with these reckless drivers and deadly drivers has been covered up or have not been really truly investigated. I know my son has been covered up because I have the evidence. This is not speculation. I have the evidence. Then I fired that lawyer. Then I got another lawyer because a friend of mine suggested me to, the one who's a judge suggested me to get another lawyer because he saw all the hit and corruption. You know, how long my son lived. If the person's life, if they're going to live long, what happened to him, the settlement is less, you know. So they cover all that up so they can go out. And people don't know what Coach USA, you know, is based out of Scotland and is a family owned.
So the bus company or the public transit in New Jersey is owned by a family company in Scotland.
No, New Jersey Transit is the largest company. Which actually, New Jersey Transit was run by the state the state. Now the government had took over when it was Chris Christie. The government wound up taking over. Coach USA is a subcontracted under New Jersey Transit. So in other words, New Jersey Transit taking money from Coach USA, so they're releasing these public transportation to that company. So in other words, to get more money and save money. So this is what they're doing. And they're not doing background check because transit like, the New Jersey Transit like, it's Coach USA. Coach USA, you know, they reliable. But no, they under your umbrella. They carry on your name, even though they Coach USA, but they still operate in New Jersey Transit. So Coach USA is based out of Scotland. And when trying to report them, it's hard to report them because they're based out of Scotland.
Yeah. So what I think is that the person who needs to hear this story hasn't heard it yet.
Exactly, because a lot of people, like one lawyer who I reached out to in East Orange, and he says to me, well, it's out of my scope. I said, what do you mean? He said, you know what, it's so corrupt. He said, you need to get it to the media. He said, that's what needs to be done. They need to be exposed. You need to put pressure on the prosecutor. You know, so when I got the other attorney, I got another attorney, he became corrupt too. He was no better than the other. He started fabricating as well. I recorded him too. You know.
So have you went to local media?
You know, I've been trying to get a lawyer to actually just advocate with me. You know, not really represent me because they really don't have to do all the work. I have the evidence, you know. Right. But it's just so hard because a lot of people are like, well, you need to get someone out of state because in New Jersey, and one person from New Jersey Transit who worked for New Jersey Transit, you know, was saying, you're not going to have any luck to get lawyers to help you in New Jersey. She said, because it's so corrupt. And she worked for New Jersey Transit. And she said, you need to get a lawyer out of the state. So as far as going to the media, you know, it's been in the media before, but with the new evidence, I've been trying to present all this new found evidence to the media, you know, but I'm still not getting the luck. I mean, it's like when I send the information to people, or a lawyer, like, okay, I help you, but when I send the information, they're like, oh, that's just too much information.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's too much. Yes, I kid you not, that's too much corruption. You know, fear of what, getting your license taken away from you, or when I say New Jersey is corrupt, it is so corrupt. I'm quite sure every state has its corruption, and I'm sure that it does. You know, just like with the Trayvon Martin case, you know, see how that was corrupt, you know, and how his case got involved, and the feds got involved because they had a good attorney. And the attorney, he wrote, because I read the article, he wrote to the politician and told the politician to put pressure on the FBI, had the FBI to intervene and investigate the prosecutor's office. That's how the FBI got involved.
Yeah. So have any local politicians stepped to the plate for this story?
None.
For your son? None. That's sad.
None. When I
Not
call,
even the city councilman?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
I called the legislator, and I told her the video, and she said, go to your local politician. I said, none of them helped me. No. And I know a few of them.
Yeah.
They befriended me after what happened because it's so corrupt, because they promised me some political role or something. None of them. She said, well, that's the format. When I called Washington, Trenton, she said, you're supposed to go to your local politician. And I did that. No help. Trying to get a law passed in my son's name. And there was a young girl, she was 8 months, and her life was taken by the same way, and they wanted to pass a law in her name.
So there seems to be a large casualty rate in that part of New Jersey that they're just ignoring?
They brushing under the rug. They brushing under the rug as if it's just an accident. Just an accident. Like I said, I don't know the full extent to. I did research on it, and some of them unsolved because you can find information on the Oprah Act. Got it on the Oprah Act and the information from the Oprah Act. Some of these cases, and I'm gonna put that information online. Some of these cases unsolved. Some of these cases is not reported. And I'm like, and you look at New Jersey Transit, and their mission statement is they provide safety and reliable, convenience, and cost-effective, and safety for the customers. Really?
Right. Yeah.
And professional drivers. And even with the statement with Coach, same thing. They have increased the safety programs, and they train these drivers. The new lawyers that I had, they wanted all the lawyers that I went through 4 lawyers. All the other lawyers did not take a deposition from the driver. This is how corrupt and covered it was. So this other lawyer wound up doing a deposition, and the deposition was sworn on oath because you hear him lying, and they didn't really prosecutor didn't do a full investigation, because the prosecutor and the attorney actually they were like really negating him to prevent him to talk and everything, and that's on the video, which you can watch. You can go on. I think I have an Essex County prosecutor of corruption with deshon-johnson case. You can see that yourself on the video. Now I had the deposition. I have new information. I just got new information, and I just recently put the deposition of the driver with more a fraction online, and he's still driving as we speak.
Wow.
He is still driving. Nothing happened to this driver at all.
I read his record. He should not be driving.
Yes. And the other 3 that in the deposition, they just put the dates, but they didn't put what the other fraction, the one that I highlight in red, and here the lawyer, the attorney, because when it first happened, the attorney came to my house and told my son he saw my information in the newspaper was fabrication. Yes. Fabrication is corruption at its finest, and there's nothing is being done about this corruption. And like I said, I have that also from the Oprah Act that shows the breakdown of all this corruption going on. It's like transit is like spewing out $20.5 million in all of this. And nothing is being done. So we have a new governor. He focuses on more of the trains because there's tragedy with trains as well, but not on these buses because the percentage, according to on the Oprah law, most of all these tragedies is coming from not the train, but from the buses. That's where it's coming from. But you sit here passing laws and everything with trains, which is because those lives matter as well. But what about all these lives taken with the bus? Because in Essex County, it's like, according to the statistic I'm reading here, it's saying that 55 in Essex County of these tragedies had occurred, and mainly most of them are deaths. The percentage of low is the injury, but the high rate is the death. And They're not doing anything. You know, like this one guy, Passaic, he lost his life, and they prosecuted his driver. You know, and so what I was doing research, the ratio of all ethnicities, and trying to figure out how many of the ethnicity are covered up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the guy, his driver was African American. I know most of these drivers who killing people, from my research, they like they mostly like from overseas, from the country, like Haiti, Jamaica, in those regions. And they like at the age of 60.
Wow.
You know, so the guy, his driver, he was getting off the public transportation as he was crossing, and the driver, she had the yellow light, and while he was crossing, the light wound up turning red when she was proceeding on yellow, and she wound up in his life. And they pressed charges on her. Then I had this young lady who had emailed me on Facebook, and she like, I read your article. She said, no mother shouldn't have to go through this. She said, I read your article about what happened to your son. She said, I'm with you to help you, trying to, to hold these drivers accountable, because the driver had ran over both of my sister's legs, and her sister's legs was amputated. Her sister was in a coma. And she said the driver who did that, once again, he had a bad record, and she said the driver never went to jail.
Wow.
So they just like blowing these cases away, especially, like I said, in Essex County. The percentage is high in Essex County. Like in Bergen County, some of them they would citate the drivers, or the drivers they will really do something, like in the other counties like Passaic County and Bergen County. But Essex County is horrible. It's horrible. The corruption is unbelievable. Is unbelievable. And like I said, with these attorneys I had, there was no help. They were fabricating, because I asked the attorney that I had, to push it back into the prosecutor office. Oh, I can't do that. And say, nothing's going to happen, or, he didn't get to do it, all this stuff. I said, but you see in the deposition, and I came across, when I did research, anonymous person had wrote on this, it's like complaint for New Jersey Transit. If you Google like reckless bus driver, New Jersey Transit, reckless Coach USA bus driver, that came up, and I read somebody's statement saying they witnessed the driver threaten my son. An anonymous person, he threatened my son, and he boasts about ending my son's life. This is online. You can Google it. I can't make this up.
So how can people... I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say, but go ahead.
I was going to say, how can people get involved? You have like a college fund and a charity set up, right?
Yes. The Deshon-Johnson College Scholarship Foundation. My son was in college, my son was helping me out, because on Wednesday, July the 18th, believe it or not, Bloomfield police officer was chasing a stolen car and hit me head on, and I became disabled. Not knowing 5 years later, Wednesday, July the 18th, 2012, my son get killed in the same town. And they cover up Bloomfield Township, covered up my incident, and covered up my son.
Oh, no.
Yes, and I'm talking to you, holding all my tears back. I'm trying to get through it and not break down and cry. But I did a change.org, to try to get petitions signed. I've been trying to get 2,000. I'd be reading these petitions. People get like a lot of petitions signed for things that's like miscellaneous. But something like this, I was only at 700. I'm trying to get 2,000, signatures, so I can take it to back to the politician and say there's a law. Need to be demand, because a lot of people sign a petition. They see they know it's serious. I wrote to the FBI. When I say I wrote to everybody, I wrote to the FBI. Everybody. I'm just trying to get a lawyer to just advocate with me to take it back. Yes, I can take it back to the prosecutor, but what they're going to do? Blow me away like they did all the other ones? But like people say, it takes more. When there's more, and you have more than one people, then they'll listen. And some people who I've been reaching out to, people who loved one was taken, I put the Change.org link, the Sean petition on there, the articles when they come out, and tell them let's grow an alliance. And some of them can't because some of them probably signed a gag order and they cannot speak out. As I didn't. So this is why I can tell the story and I can share with everybody, because everybody knows, and share all the evidence, because if it happened to my son, how many other lives they are doing this to?
Right.
And the radius, there's a federal law about the curb radius when a big vehicle has to be a certain amount away from the curb so that won't, things like this, what happened to my son, won't occur. But these drivers, they breaking that law, and they're not getting any tickets from these police officers, and that's a federal law they breaking. And nothing's being done. So what I do, my son, he has a Naila collection. Like I said, his music's online. He was a hip-hop artist, and I'm just trying my best, trying to carry out his music like he wanted to. Like he was talking to me before what happened to him. He's like, Ma, I'll be back. He never be back. I get a call. He never came back. I get a call saying my son is gone. I mean, I could say if my son was sick, it was a preparation I could plan. But when your child is taken in a tragic manner and your child said, I'll be back, I'm going to come home, and you get a call saying your son's not coming home or your daughter's not coming home in the hands of somebody, and then I add it on with the corruption. So what I do like New York Fashion Week, and I design clothing. And what I do, I put music note on the clothing. I open up with the fashion show with the music note to pay homage to my son. So I do the fashion show for New York Fashion Week because there's a lot of publicity there. People who has the bloggers be there, and news, local news people be there, magazines. So I go there to share the story, to raise awareness, not just for my son, but for others. And because my son, he went to King University, he was in the honor society when he was in high school, and when he went to college, he had high-level college course, and the college, he attended King University, but they started a scholarship in his honor. I don't like saying memory, but in his honor, because I don't use words that associate that my son is gone, because I'm living it. So King University started one, and the high school that he went to, Montclair High School, had started a scholarship in his name, and Essex County College that he had attended had started a scholarship in his name. So as we speak, I'm still trying to fight to get on national TV, because I did have Channel 4 contact me, but the lawyer saying, oh, don't go, let me do it my way, and Coach was telling the lawyer that I had, tell her not to be online. She's putting all the information out online. They was trying to get, they meaning Coach Transit attorney, was trying to get my son's case heard out of Essex County into another county. Yes. Somebody said, oh, she's exposing us. But when you're on the internet, it just doesn't reach Essex County. So I'm just hoping that these corrupt attorneys get disbarred. These are lies, and there's a law that protects you when attorneys doing that, hold the information. So that's what you can like Google Justice for Deshaun. I'm on all the social media, Naila, which is my son's tagline. He rap and sing, when song past tense, he's not here, Naila, you Google Sean-cos-mason, Sean M. When you can find his music is on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify. You put on your playlist. Naila Collection is on Instagram. If you go on Instagram, you'll see Naila. Naila is his music. If you see Naila Collection, that's all the clothing that I have designed in his memory, in his honor, rather. Yeah. And I also sell the items on like Poshmark and Tracy. And online, I sell the products online. And when I use that, I take the money and I raise money for the scholarship, and also raise the money to actually, because I need money to bring the alliance and put out petition to push this petition and, push all of the campaign to help fight for justice, not just for my son, but all these lives are taken in vain. And all these lives also who had tragic injury, and like the lady whose sister Lay's has been taken off and been in a coma. Her whole life changed as well as mine. I sit here with a disability all alone with no one help. My son, would help me. I suffer from nerve damage when a blue police officer was chasing a stolen car and hit me head on. And my whole right shakes involuntarily. My son used to drive me around. I don't have that anymore. So when I do shows, I call people up to drive my car for me to take me to these locations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
It's painful, and as I tell people, oh, you're a strong person. I say, no, I'm just getting by. I'm not strong. I don't even sleep because the image haunts me every night. I do cat naps. Going through therapy, you can talk to it, but they can't take these images out of my head.
Yeah.
It's like carved in my head. It's engraved in my mind. Whether I'm going to sleep or not. I know one time my mom said I cry in my sleep, calling out my son's name, because when it happened in 2012, I'm a self-published author. I write poetry, and my book is under Soality. And my son was doing his music. He released his mixtape in 2012 before what happened to him, and I released my book, which is my poem. It's all online. You can Google Naomi-Johnson poet, and you'll see it. And again, Sean-cos-Mason, his music, you can hear his music. Just trying to take it day by day.
And guys, just in case you need those links, we'll have them in the show notes, as well as in the description of the episode. So all you have to do is click the hyperlinks. We have the articles, the music links, the charity, the college fund, all that good information is right there. So all you have to do is click those links. Naomi, is there anything else that you want to discuss before we end this segment?
Did you find it on GoFundMe, the scholarship on GoFundMe?
No, I don't have the GoFundMe link, no.
Oh, okay. I can send you all the other links
okay.
that you need. I'm just trying to ask people to help be a voice and raise awareness, because these politicians, because they thugs, they bully with money. That's what they exactly are. Coach USA and New Jersey Transit, they don't care about human safety, and if you can Google that, because they had Transit have fired one of the compliance person because he what they call whistleblow. He was the chief of compliance, and they fired him. I can't remember his last name. It was Todd. They fired him because he said that New Jersey Transit is nothing but corrupt, and that's online. He exposed them. So if you read that, you can see I am not making this up. He exposed them. He said they are so corrupt. They don't care about safety. They don't care about human lives. This coming from the chief of compliance for New Jersey Transit. So I even wrote to the new governor. I haven't heard from him, so I can speak in front of the legislator. It's like they blocking me.
Wow.
So I'm just trying to get the petition up and see if I get enough signature, and anybody in New Jersey who lost their loved ones like mine, we can come together and grow alliance, because by me doing by myself, even though I do have the evidence, okay, they're blown away. I'm just trying to go. I know if I go national, then they're moved because now it's exposed throughout the world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I've been trying to get to national news to expose, like we did the little protest.
Right.
And when they was exposed locally, then they did something, you know.
Right.
But then they stopped. Once this one woman who lost her daughter, not from a public transportation, Girl Scout, you know, and her daughter had got her life taken when she was Girl Scout. That's why they don't have here in New Jersey the Girl Scout go home to doors anymore, because she had passed a law to stop that. So that's I found that, you know, in New Jersey you see Girl Scouts set up like by you know, supermarkets to sell their cookies. They don't go door by door because their mother had passed a law. And she said, Naomi, you know, you keep pushing. She said, I had a lot of people say, oh, your daughter's gone, you still fighting. And like she said, if I don't fight for my daughter, who will? You know, the best investigation, the best investigator is the mother and the love for their child. No one's going to fight more than a mother who loves their child. And they thought they can dingle money in my face to keep me silent. At the end of the day, when that money is gone, the problem is still here. Lives are still being taken. As long as we don't come together in New Jersey collaboratively and fight them, these bullies and these thugs with money and these politicians that we vote to put in the seat. You know, they give their little spiel and say they're going to do this and put them in the seat, and when they be elected, they don't do anything. But we as voters can push them out and put pressure on them, because this needs to stop. This is all online. You Google New Jersey reckless driver and New Jersey transit coaches, you'll see all the articles. Also on this site called Sorority Journalists, you know, this particular journalist, what they do, they advocate for things like this, and it's on their Instagram, and that's what they do. They chase the news of all these things are taken, because Channel 4 did an investigation, had interviewed New Jersey Transit president. He's like, oh, this doesn't happen all the time. It's just fabrication. It's all online. And so what the journalists did, they screenshot all the articles and posted, because, you know, the image is never going to go away. Even some of my son's articles, when it first written, it's taken offline. Luckily, I saved all the articles. So they don't keep it. They don't want it all online, because they don't want people to Google and see there's a problem. So they take some of these things offline, or they don't be reported. Because the prosecutors, they run New Jersey Legend, the Star Ledger. I'm sorry, Star Ledger. Sorry, it's just painful.
No, you're all right.
I greatly appreciate your platform to have me to speak, and I just hope that somebody can hear it and I can get to spread this worldwide to get more people involved, you know, because one person told me, well, they didn't, when it first happened, like, oh, I don't hear about this. This doesn't happen all the time. I said, yes, it does. And he's like, well, why no one putting it online? I said, because I don't know why they're not doing it. So he's like, well, you need to start advocating for it. So that's why I'm like, okay, then you just start advocating. Because if it's not told, no one's going to know. If you're sitting quiet, no one's going to know. They think nothing like this happened. So, you know, and people thank me like I'm glad I didn't sign the gag order. Because if I signed the gag order, no one would have known what's going on. So I'm the voice for all the people's lives taken in vain. You know, I'm the voice to trying to get at least trying to get a memorial plaque place where all these lives was taken. You know, they have a memorial with people who for 9/11. They have a big, strong advocate for people with gun violence, but not these, because they seen an accident, but not knowing the real truth that half of this is deliberately with some of these drivers. They have these road rage, and they sit here and threaten these passengers, and because they know that transit and coach going to back them up. and they still had their job. If Coach and Transit stop backing some of these reckless drivers, stop backing them up and not providing them with attorney, I'm guaranteed all of this will stop, because they know their job's going to be taken away from them. They know they're going to be in jail. So this will stop. So they will drive like they have some sense and drive cautious. But as long as they have this company backing them up and the prosecutor and everybody backing up and not sending them to jail, this is going to continue on. And the lawmakers who have the power to change things, this is going to continue going on. And these people, they have the power to do so. But you know what? Because it's not their loved one and they're not involved, they don't care. They don't care. They treat life as it's not value. And we all have one. And all of us need to cherish it. You know, this driver and all these, the driver who killed my son deliberately, because that's in the deposition. Like I said, I had the whole deposition online, and the deposition of the witness, you know, transit lawyer, was trying to sit here and tell the lady was saying my son was already at the stop. And she said he was banging. She didn't say he was jumping up and down like the prosecutor. He was already there, you know. And so the lawyer from transit like, oh, he was jumping up and down, so he must be jumped on the tire and what made him fall. How can you jump? You see how huge these public transportation tires are? Let's be for real. I'm like, my son is not a kangaroo. He cannot jump that high on top of the tire. On transit, on a bus tire. The guy clipped him when he was standing on the curb, which is a safe haven. A bus or car don't supposed to be on the curb, whether it's a handicapped curb or a non-handicapped curb. Bus supposed to be in the street, not close to a curb. And that's what happened. And the transit lawyer like, oh, he jumped on the tire and that's why he fell. And, you know, the lady on the bus like, oh, the driver didn't see him. The driver didn't see him. She doesn't know. Because they tricked her saying that he didn't. But on the video coming from his mouth, in the deposition I have, he said he did. He continued on. This is vehicle homicide. This driver should be in jail. He should be in jail. And he's going to continue on doing it. And he's taking this as a joke. And they support him. They wearing the blood. Transit coach and the attorney that they hire are wearing the blood of all these innocent lives taken. But you know what? Karma, it will come back. You know? So once again, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm just going to stop because I get feel myself getting ready to cry and break down, and I'm trying to hold it back.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Naomi, we definitely appreciate you for your time and sharing the story of your son. We'll post all the links, and please send me that GoFundMe link as well so I can include that. One last question. Does it matter what state you're from if you wanted to sign the petition?
It doesn't matter what state you're from because actually I have information with the Fed saying it happened all over the United States with these reckless, deadly drivers taking lives in droves.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get a state and federal law passed.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again, Naomi.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time. And I thank your listeners for listening to me. Take care.
Yes.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre-free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay, but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.